While campus and concert riots can erupt in an instant, other uprisings are years in the making. Strangeways Prison, Manchester, England, April 1st, 1990. Authorities raced to squelch an inmate riot that ironically erupted during services at the prison chapel. But they are too late, and the pre-planned uprising quickly spreads.
There were insufficient staff on duty, and it was with good luck and cooperation that this place hasn't gone up before, indeed many others.
At the beginning of the riot, the situation was out of control. It was impossible for the small number of staff who were on duty to contain it, and prisoners rampaged throughout the prison.
In less than 10 hours, the inmates were in control of the entire prison. They burned, smashed, and destroyed nearly everything in their path.
The worst violence was concentrated on the first day of the riot. That was the time when staff and prisoners fought, when staff suffered severe injuries, and in total 147 of them were injured.
After 3 days, authorities managed to reclaim most of the prison. But the inmates still controlled 2 cell blocks and showed no signs of giving up. At that point, the decision was made to wait the inmates out.
Ultimately, a group of prisoners ended up on the roof, and the riot really moved from violent event into a demonstration on the rooftop of the prison. There was violence in the sense that prisoners continued to demolish the place. They ripped tiles off the roof and hurled them to the ground below. But essentially, it was a platform for prisoners to publicise their grievances, a demonstration which caught the imagination of the country and received massive publicity throughout the world.
For the next 22 days, the world watched and listened in horror as they learned of the inhumane conditions that Strangeways inmates were forced to endure.
To tell you about the brutality.
The situation at Strangeways was no different from the situation at many other prisons, in that it was about 70% overcrowded, with over 1,600 prisoners in a jail that was designed to hold less than 1,000. There were no proper toilet facilities, so that they had to rely on buckets or pots in order to urinate and defecate, and that meant that effectively they were locked up somewhere that was not only cramped and crowded, but insanitary as well.
As days turned into weeks, some prisoners surrendered, but others remained defiant, taking full advantage of their place upon the world stage. Finally, after 25 days, the last 5 holdouts turned themselves over to authorities, and the Strangeways riot came to an end.
The jail was effectively destroyed. It cost £30 million to put right the damage. That's the worst prison riot that we've ever had. And had it not been for the general tension caused by the conditions over a long period of time, then it wouldn't have lasted for 25 days. So many prisoners wouldn't have joined in. The degree of violence wouldn't have been anything like the degree of violence that there was. It was something which focused attention on the need for prison reform in a way, sadly, that no amount of impassioned advocacy by reform groups had been able to do over the previous 30 years.
The Strangeways riot eventually led to sweeping reforms of the British prison system. Among the changes, a mandatory end to overcrowding, modernization of facilities, and improved sanitation. Authorities hope that the lessons learned at Strangeways will help to prevent future out-of-control uprisings.